Welcome back to another episode of the Bulldog Blitz. I'm Lindsay Cagle. The women's soccer team won in the first round of the NCAA tournament this past Friday. They beat the Opera Tigers 2-0. They will now advance to the second round of the tournament and face St. John's University in Durham, North Carolina. Here's senior soccer star Grace Somi with more about their win.
It was 0-0 at halftime. We came out on fire in the second half. We really wanted it. It was definitely a huge team effort. Mary Raymond hit a great shot from outside the box, and that went in. And then Kyla Reynolds had a great cross to Taylor Yunt who put it in the back of the net. And then it was just awesome.
Samford had the football world buzzing on Saturday with their performance against the Florida Gators. Both teams came out of the gate firing on offense, but it was the Bulldogs that kept the lead until the third quarter when Florida scored 3 touchdowns and pulled ahead in the fourth for a 70-52 win. Despite the loss, Samford tied the record for most points scored by an FCS school against an FBS opponent. Liam Welch threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Montrell Washington turned heads with 322 all-purpose yards and a touchdown catch that made SportsCenter's top 10 plays of Saturday. The Samford women's cross-country team finished its 2021 season at the NCAA South Regional this past Friday. The Bulldogs finished 17th out of 32 teams and with 469 points. A total of 10 of the teams that finished ahead of Samford were from Power 5 conferences, but the Bulldogs finished ahead of several teams, including UAB and Troy. Samford was led by Allison Nelson, who finished 69th out of 225 runners in the 6K race. Sinkanesh Parker was close behind, finishing 71st, and Harper McGowan came in 99th. This weekend, the team will travel to Tallahassee, Florida, to compete in the NCAA championships. After 50 years, the men's basketball team faced Maryville again, and 6 players put up double digits in scoring. The team was led by Florida transfer Quest Glover, who was responsible for 19 of the points in the Bulldogs' 99-78 win. After a short turnaround, the team faced Spring Hill in their second home game of the season, where Jermaine Marshall recorded his first career double-double, putting up 16 points and 10 rebounds to lead the Bulldogs to an 86-69 win over the Badgers. They later traveled to play San Francisco, where they lost 77-55, despite Glover scoring a career high of 24 points. Samford Volleyball recorded back-to-back sweeps against Mercer and Furman. The Bulldogs hosted top-seeded Mercer on Wednesday. The Bears kept each set close, but Samford pulled away behind 7 aces from their servers. On Saturday against Furman, setter Kayla Keyshock recorded her second 30-assist game of the week, and the Bulldogs pulled away late in the third set for the win. The Samford women's basketball team kicked off their season last Thursday at Iowa. They lost 91-54 despite 15 points from Andrea Corneroyer and 15 rebounds from Annie Ramil. The Bulldogs kept a close fourth quarter, but eventually fell to the Hawkeyes. On Sunday, the Bulldogs won their home opener game against the Montevallo Falcons. In the fourth quarter, Samford increased the lead by 25 points to win the game 75-50. Samford will host the Southern Conference Volleyball Tournament this weekend. Earlier this week, I took a closer look at where each team will be standing going into the tournament. After finishing their regular season play, the Southern Conference volleyball teams are heading into this weekend with hopes that they will come away with the championship trophy on Sunday. Leading the SoCon in first place is Mercer with a 12-4 record. They will play the 8th ranked team, which will be determined in a game Monday night between Chattanooga and Furman. The 3 other quarterfinal games will be Wofford versus Western Carolina, UNCG versus the Citadel, and Samford versus ETSU. This will lead into 2 semifinal games on Saturday, and then the championship game on Sunday. In the preseason coaches poll, Samford was picked to be the #1 team, followed by Mercer and Wofford. UNCG was picked to be the 9th place team, but had an outstanding season and finished in 2nd place. With Mercer and UNCG being tied with the best in-conference records at 12-4, there are no predicted winners of this weekend's tournament. Furman will face Mercer on Friday after beating Chattanooga 3-2 earlier this week. NASCAR wrapped up its 2021 season on November 7th, and a Samford alumni was a crucial part of winning the championship. Here's Nikolai Kulp with the story.
Last Sunday at Phoenix Raceway, the NASCAR Cup Series concluded its 2021 season. Kyle Larson and the Hendrick Motorsports No. 5 team walked away from Phoenix with the 2021 championship, but it did not come easy. Larson led 107 of the 312 laps, but with 30 to go, Larson was fourth out of the 4 championship contending drivers when a caution came out. The caution gave teams an opportunity to come down pit road and make adjustments on their cars and to potentially improve their position, which the 5 team took full advantage of. The No. 5 pit crew clocked in their second fastest pit stop of the entire season and helped Larson pass the other 3 championship contending cars and into the race lead. Larson would lead the last 26 laps to win the race and the championship. R.J. Barnett, the tire carrier for the No. 5 team and a Samford alumni, said,
That was awesome. No, we didn't even know the time, and I don't think we even checked the time until the race was over. Someone told us. We knew what we had done. We went from fourth to first and passed all the other championship cars. So, I mean, you can't script it any better than that. So, from a pit crew perspective, that's a walk-off grand slam. And then, you always just want to put your driver in the best position possible.
This was Barnett's 4th championship in his time at Hendrick and said this one is on the top of his list because of his personal journey and overcoming an injury just a few years ago.
It was emotional. I mean, a lot of the veterans on the team, had brought tears to my eyes because of the journey that I've personally been on with having to come back. And I don't even know when it sank in because I was just so giddy, and it was, if I watch that pit stop, it gives me chills. But it was incredible. It definitely, they've asked me, where does this rank amongst the championships? And this is P1. And no disrespect to Jimmy, but it's not even close.
Barnett said his family was excited for him and said his wife is his number 1 supporter.
They were excited, obviously. My wife's been with me the whole, she's heard me complaining from, my injury to up until I finally got put on a car. She said it dealt with a lot of crap I throw her way, so she's definitely my number 1 supporter. It's super exciting, and I know we're excited to get back to the championship banquet. And the kid, I always promise him, I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring you a hat. What color do you want? And a lot of times this year I've been able to fulfill that promise, so I appreciate Kyle doing that for me.
The 5 teams pit crew also won the pit crew of the year in a 4-way tie for first. Larson and the 5 team won 10 races, the All-Star race, the regular season championship, and capped off the 2021 season with the NASCAR Cup Series championship. Larson led many laps, won a lot of races, but when it came down to it, the pit crew stepped up and won their driver a race and a championship.
But just to be in that situation and, go from fourth to first, that, as a pit crew guy's dream, just to have that opportunity and then to actually, you always look to pass 1 or 2, but to pass 3 championship caliber pit crews, that's unheard of, honestly. You don't do that.
With the Bulldog Blitz, I'm Nikolai Kolb.
The football team still has one more game at home on Saturday at noon against the Furman Paladins. Samford's offense is averaging just over 38 points per game. The Bulldogs will honor their seniors and graduate players. They will also honor this year's Samford Athletics Hall of Fame inductees at the game. Tune in next week to meet the inductees and hear more about their legendary careers. Wednesday night, the women's basketball team will face Jacksonville State for their second home game of the season. Andrea Coronorier leads the team offensively with 36 points over the Bulldogs' first 2 games and defensively with 7 steals. On Saturday, the team will travel to play Southern Mississippi and with a very quick turnaround travel to face Colorado on Monday. These 2 games will be the first of 4 away games for the Bulldogs. Here's what Shantae Battle has to say about what they expect.
Colorado's a huge team, athletic in the Pac-12, so obviously they're going to be good and going to compete with us, but this is going to be a great opportunity for us to do right now.
Samford men's basketball looks to rebound from their loss against San Francisco as they make their way to Oregon State. Considering the Beavers' 1-2 record and their most recent loss against Tulsa, the Bulldogs are ready to go head-to-head this Thursday night. Most students are familiar with intramural teams like flag football, soccer, and volleyball, but there are some options for those of you who are not quite as athletic. Here's Sam Carbonaro with a closer look.
Now for some less physically demanding sports. Samford University is offering intramural table tennis, pool, dodgeball, and basketball this winter. Campus Recreation has been offering these quirky yet fun sports for a few years now. Let's talk with Gavin Baker, who has played both intramural table tennis as well as intramural dodgeball.
Ever since a young age, it's just something I loved. Me and my dad played every day. Best thing? Probably a bunch of lifelong friends. I'm getting emotional. Yeah, so dodgeball, there's 6 of us on one team, 6 of us on the other. Ball's in the middle, ref says go. We run to the balls, get them, throw them at the other team. If it hits them, they're out. If they catch it, we're out. And that last How much fun have I had in intramurals? Well, I'd say I've had all the fun in the world.
Sign-ups begin November 15th and go through November 18th. You can sign up on imleagues.com.
On behalf of the entire crew, thanks for watching the Bulldog Blitz.